Hello, welcome to today's video. We're going to be learning standard algorithm for multiplication. In last month's video, we learned how to add single digit numbers, and not add, multiply single digit numbers. And in this video, we're going to learn how to multiply double digit numbers and double digit with single digit. So if we look here at this example, this problem, it's there's 2 times 2, so the whole problem is 12 times 2. Now last time we only learned single digit multiplication, and I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with the standard algorithm because my first 2 videos were on the standard algorithm, and essentially it's a line down the middle, and it separates like the numbers in the problem into multiple columns. Here there's only 2 columns, the ones column and the tens column, because the biggest number is a 2-digit number. So instead of, last time we learned how to multiply single digit numbers, so just like when we add or subtract, we break down the number into different digits, and then we subtract and add the smaller numbers. We can do something similar with multiplication. So here, instead of multiplying 12 by 2, we can break it down and multiply 2 by 2 first. So you can first add 2 to itself 2 times. So you can do 2 plus 2, and that equals 4. Pretty simple. Or if you've either memorized the table here, or if you want to use the table, you can go, so 2 on this on this row is right here, and then the 2 here on the column is right here. So then we can draw like a line, and then like the area that the 2 lines meet, the box that at which the 2 lines meet is 4. So we know that 2 times 2 is 4. So we write 4 right here. Next, instead of multiplying the next column, we use the same number that we multiplied this top number with, and then we multiply this by this next number. So then we do 2 times 1, and then that's 2. So that's basically it, because there's nothing here. There's only a 0 here. So we don't need to multiply anything here. So we only multiply the 2 by each separate number, and then we get 24. So we can move on over here, and then we can do a similar problem. Let's do 18 times, let's do 2. So here we do the same thing as we did over here. We multiply each separate column, and let me fix this. We multiply each separate column. So here we multiply 2 by 2, then 2 by 1, and then we got 24. It's not on this table, but if you pull out a calculator, you can see that it's correct. So here we can so we do the same thing. We multiply 2 by 8, so we can add 8 2 times, or we can add 2 to itself 8 times. Either way, it'll get the same result, 16. And if you want to use the table, we can see that 8 on this is right here, and then 2 on this is right here. We found this last time. So we can draw a line across, and then the point where the two numbers meet is like the answer. So here it meets at 16, so we know the answer is 16. But we don't write 16 right here. We multiply 8 by 2 and then we get 16. So we write the ones digit in the number, so 6, just like we did in addition. And then we put the tens digit in the next column, right here. And then similar to addition, we add this number. So first, let's go step by step. So now we multiply 2 by 1, and then we get 2. And then, but we don't write 2 right here, because this is incorrect. So we multiply 2 by 1, and then we get 2. And then we add any extra numbers on top to our answer. So right now there's only a 1, so then we do 2 times 1, you get 2. And then we add 1 to 2, so then you get 3. So then instead of writing 2, we write 3. And then the answer is 36. And if you pull out a calculator, you can pull out a calculator, or like search it up, or even ask your parents. This answer right here is correct. And now let's move on to numbers that have a greater, are like that number is greater than 2-digit. So 2-digit by 2-digit or greater. So right now we've only done 2-digit by 1-digit. So if we go here, we can do something like, let's do 10, let's do 12. 12 by 12. So if you memorize like the tables, most tables have 12 on the column and 12 on the row. So if you've memorized the tables, you will know this answer. But even if you do, you can still see that what I'm saying right now actually works for bigger numbers. So here we're gonna do the same thing at first. We're gonna multiply 2 by 2, and since we did it right here, we know that it's 4. You can do like the same thing again by using like the chart, or adding it, and you can see that it's 4. Then you write 4 right here, 4, and then you, instead of going over to the next row and then multiplying 1 by 1, we use the same 2, and then we multiply this by this, and then we get 2. And we see that there's nothing on the top, so we add 0. We basically add 0 to our answer. So 0 plus 2 is 2, right? So we don't really add anything. And then we do a plus. Now, what we're basically doing is we're breaking it up into smaller numbers. So right now we broke it into two things. We're first multiplying 12. Actually, let's write it right here. We're first multiplying 12 by 2. And then right here we got 24. Right? Next, we need to multiply 1 by 12. But the thing is, this isn't a 1. This isn't an ordinary 1. It's in the end it's a 10, because it's in the tens digit, right? So you add a 0, and then we also have to do 12 times 10. And then we don't know this yet, right? So we do 12 times 10, and then we add these two numbers, because we broke it into two parts. First we did this, which we got 24, and then now we're gonna do 12 times 10. And then after we multiply these separate parts, we're gonna have to add them together and then get the final answer. So now we do 10 times each number. So if you want to make it easier, you can just put a 0 here, at the end, and then just go about and multiply 12 by 1. Or you can multiply 2 by 10 and then get, so I'll do it both ways. So first let's multiply 2 by 10. So if we go here on the chart, we know that we can see that if we draw a line all the way to 10, we see that 2 by 10 is 20. And we don't put 20 here because we saw that we bring it up, we see that we bring it up. So we put the 0 here, and then the 2 here, and then we multiply 10 by 1, so then you get 10, and then you add 2 to 10, so 2 plus 10 is 12, so you do 24 plus 120. Now this 4 plus 2, it's not properly aligned, but if we add 4 plus 0, we get 4. If we add 2 plus 2, it's 4. And then if we add 0 plus 1, we get 1. So we find out that the answer is 144. And then over here, if we, let me fix this. If we replace this question mark with a 1 is equal to 120, because we find out that it's 120. So then question mark is equal to 120, and then we add 120 plus 24. So this ends up being 4, because 0 plus 4 is 4. And then 2 plus 2 is 4. And then 1 plus 0 is 1. So that's 144. So if we use this method, we also find out that it's 144. And now to show what I was saying earlier, we can, instead of multiplying each number by 10, we can simply, let me first erase all of this. So instead of multiplying the whole digits by 10, we can simply multiply it by 1. But at the beginning, you need to make sure to put a 0. So just put a 0 here, and then you can continue multiplying each number by 1. So 1 times 2, 2, and then 1 times 1 is 1. And to show that this is correct, you can basically add 1, you can add 2 to itself one time, so it's going to be 2. 2 is equal to 2. Pretty simple. And then you can also do 2 times 1, so you add 1 to itself one time, and 1 is equal to 1. So then we got 2 from this, and then 1 from this. So then we got 120. 24 plus 120. So in the end, we got the same answer. And this method is slightly easier than multiplying each number by like 10 or something like that. You can just put a 0 at the end and then multiply it. So, but then if so now, okay, wait, let me confirm one thing. So if this is 3-digit, all right, actually, you know what, let me just make another another column here. So now we can, let's try doing some 3-digit multiplication. So it sounds scary, but it's not that hard. So let's try 1 1 1 1 3. Actually, instead of even doing 3-digit, we can simply do 2-digit by, so let me just put a 24. Let me, actually, we can just put 4. 4 times 105. Sounds pretty scary, but it's not that hard. Now, this, you might think that this is a weird format that I put this in. And you're right. Instead of doing it this way, we can swap them around and it'll be easier. But I wanted to show something important, because I just gave you a tip here about how you can just put a 0 at the end. So here, if we multiply 5 by 4, let's use a table for this. So if we multiply 5 by 4, we see that, so if we bring the 5 all the way to 4, we see that 5 by 4 is 20. So then instead of writing 20 again, we put 0 here, then put the 2 here. So then we do 5 times 0, and then we add a 2. So then we add a 2 right here. And then if we do 5 times 0, it's 0. So we can do it, but it's not really needed. So after that, I told you that you can just put a 0 here. And yeah, you can just put a 0 here. And then if we multiply 0 by any number, it becomes 0. So in the end, we're not adding anything here. We don't have to 4 times 0 and stuff like that. So instead, we move on to the next column. And then we do 1 times 4, and basically that's it. But the problem is, here we added 1 0. We don't add only 1 0 in the third column, in the third row, I guess, because these are, rows. So we don't add 1 0 in the, so in the first row we didn't add any 0. We got this by multiplying. In the second row we added a single 0, right? In the third row we added 2 zeros. So you increase the number of zeros by 1 each time. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, because if we multiply, so this 1 right here is actually 100. And if you count the number of zeros 100 has 2 zeros. So 1 and 2, right? So that's why you add 2 zeros at the beginning. And then you can continue on with doing the math. So you can do 1 times 4, and then you get 4, right? And then you can do 1 times 0, and you get 0. And then as your answer, you'll get 0, 2. Okay, this is getting kind of messy, so wait, let me just move this. Let me move this down a bit, and then let me get my, okay, so 0 plus 0 plus 0 is nothing but 0, so we write a 0 right here. And then 2 plus 2, 0 plus 0 is only 2. And then we move on to the next column. We add 0 plus 4, because 0 plus 0 plus 4. So in the end, it's only 0 plus 4, and then we get 420. And since the rest doesn't matter, because there's only zeros, we can keep on adding zeros to the answer, but the number itself doesn't change. In the end, it's still going to be 420. So we don't even need to do this column, because there's nothing but zeros here. So then we get our answer as 420. And yeah, that's it for the video. I hope you guys learned something, and make sure to subscribe and hit the like button.